Anas, that evil boy, was setting MPP people up. A lot of politicians, yet truthful themselves. Therefore, slow crass and the home baker. Me opa fami kosruba. Unim huasi biaka. Bibia ufu se secret miaka zama Canada.
Yeah, claim for $30 million. $30 million.
Emma, judge, describe Anas, say investigative terrorist. Judge naokrasem no. Emma more direction.
Okay. Anas disagreed with me, but I prepared a settlement memorandum that sought to settle this case for $18 million.
Punitive measures, na almost ya all the way 8 million, ya all the way 5, and ya all the way 5. It's all 18 million.
Yeah.
Na judge say one directive almost.
To our surprise, Papa buy and also no bit $10,000 to end the case.
Judge, dismiss jury. And your final judgment. At the publication, of course, a propaganda.
I see. We decided to keep it under wraps because there was a component you multiply 18 million by 5, money do 90 million.
Abuja Canadian Agyapong $10,000 ya we na gwenso betua e de ama Anas Rembia Anas abeche kase abeche ai Anas Aremia Anas lawyer at the secret no e pipim na Hobson Adoye enso say Anas oboa propaganda there publication said that bonti nyina no enye no kure bi anim say was you Canadian Japan. Hey, hopes you so a be kiss no. Eddie at one man said the judge no a patch no and 80 million sem. Have you had the bread a far a mammy? Nothing in the sense of no more. I hear AHINTASEM TV. You say, I send a bar. You did him the fatasel tino near the AHINTASEM woman and about the sumo. But one thing say, Obelike overshare now subscribe and so at the Amayan. I was young consent no so. Na nada and then common in social media so honorable Canadian compare Agyapong yes $18 million be and no one credit back Emma Anas and Ankasemu ever to abontini on one kasa a publishing ever two in Facebook so say was you Canadian Japan $18 million defamation as is what is gano ahead of 2 na no anache say answer na me kon lawyer no so no abusua asemi bae ana hopes na do yesi dabi obekasa ai obekasa ediama Canadian compare Agyapong enye sa na tie anase boa sa na ntro na otwetwetwa no enu ase ase ye propaganda libie na oboanye sa na asem no kura tie kra na Anas lawyer esuo bie kiss na busia ma men call hopes in die no so answer asem yi ba ana hopes in ebon komana che say lawyer no na nya intention nze wo catch you say $80 million view debi and some na Anas dey about to abonten no yemu di say rodo rather sem judge na am o 30 days so mo fan ko trust and submit evidence upon evidence and some go yen sa kire bi answer no maba be trans assembly subium because there was an 8-member jury. I nese me fan say Kagana ha ke beka za lawyer for sa and wo mo hwe nsem sa be enwotwe wo me na transem no so na judge na nkasa wo di asem na nkasa emfa the final verdict emma tede na Anas this ansem we metudwa na in fact hopes na doye e bie case na no na Anas a lawyer about be reply but ensem na hopes na doye case na obi he no abusua mumi ntimra.
Yeah. On the famous no.
Yeah, sure.
Emma judge describe Anas say investigative terrorist. Then no anomokaye or say or send the famous more.
Yeah.
I know Thomas am need to call.
Say Bass Anas no number month.
Yes. What they call US. Na US system no. Ya na jury no a dozen.
Yeah.
Nti omo put to 8-member.
Yeah, 8-member jury. Yeah.
ana omo ye na jury bia no judge na okra asem no emma mo direction.
Okay.
Your mamo terms of reference.
Yes.
What you should do, what you should not do. Ano omo ye ade no. Eti jury di wie ni case no. Na chese omo atra omo bounce. Akwa awodo nema bia nka omo need that you know.
Yeah.
Number 2, Agyapong ne evidence or the call especially the court ruling near day and say omubotie no omantie.
Oh really?
Yes. Eti omoba beyade no the Agyapong lawyer raise mistra.
Okay.
Say there may be ankoyi. Judge no sustain that you know of the mistra. Number 2, obisa jury no say punitive measures there na almost ya all the way 8 million, ya all the way 5, and ya all the way 5. It's all 18 million.
Yeah.
Na judge ne say one directive almost a. Eti what kind no mo ka say ebia ye suggest anasa afi ni e ba be hwa nka problem nim.
Yeah.
Eti omo ka say no say omo akọ beyond what he directed them to do. Eti judge no dismiss jury. Now, jury decision no enye final judgment.
Okay.
Enye final judgment. Eti publication e koso ni ade nyina no eye propaganda.
I see.
Eye propaganda. Eti judge no amomo 30 days for Ken's lawyers to submit or more argument and answer opinion whatever say adwuma no moye no mistra.
Okay.
Anu ama announce lawyer so say 30 days say ono so and submit say enye mistra. Eti hono mo na answer judge no betena say na wama ye can say final judgment
on the case, on the defamation case.
It's not in record of the court.
Okay.
Say your judgment is Agyapong ya fine no 18 million.
So where from the 18 million issue? $18 million.
Nipa na onu esiu ye no. O siu defamation was or the damages of a can say
$18 million.
18 million. Na me kan bibia about law. I don't know. But lawyers no, when them say omo nimpa. Jury or more make a decision is not a judgment until a judge reads a judgment and say I've awarded you this. Now some mistrial a year or more raising and so a great issue and so more. I didn't a jury. Sa evidence we mwanhwe adentina mwanye we ene ne guy kan so on there.
But this is the story I'm also seeing. Also investigative journalist Anas Arimiya Anas has secured a significant
Anas bigina ho na you say anu achagum.
Okay.
Anu bia dey publish. What dem say Ghana so there asem no to ho a amanfo enye here can say proper checks.
Yeah, sure.
Any ade.
Sure.
No obia efa, no obia efa ene ne guy kan. So But
I understand to send your work. I say the last part of the story. I say meanwhile, the jury's ruling is yet to be approved, otherwise by the presiding judge.
So what is the meaning of winning 80 million? We're winning 80 million. So yes, it is a final. You can say final judgment. You know, that's a judge. Not say no. Because as a mujina. Rodo no wabogwa afina ujina bia wahifa so on yet no let us see it say for now a propaganda piece
sure.
And the namu judgment no emaye the same case same way that was what you should know our superior courts here say what actually because based on the fact now defendant no present here ade no asaba worker no it's not far from you can say right et you know what atwene 2 months later no one sorry say o dey akọ US abrochi obunkongodi ehọ no ma se buma say abrochi for there omo hwe crep omo no omo nim ewe a niama esiko
omo ntitwi
eje twi no pese bra what we say ekire na no ayi Kennedy church mo abi hu say the juma no ye entrapment. What you say?
Sure.
Because me ba kojo ho na say kojo ma me bribe a. See edi ngomo.
Yeah, sure.
Eti ne ma kan ye kojo aka. E say obodi yina de eti. Na de enti na se me ka ba ko me here $10,000. Na me de no abo. De kojo kan de wo mo. Na fe wu na wo ma commentary on it. What kind of business no? Eti comment na wo ma no ene na manfo tie na Kofi kokwaje bribe and wo ye say but nkomo no mu nyina bibia di ho akojo kan ya den e ba abonte
Yeah.
eti I don't know ye de kwanifa eti amanfo enka omakuma ento omuyem te say 30 days no beso na judge na tenase na chese wa ma the final verdict on this eti for now no 3 days as a propaganda piece
Mati
eti abusia concerning anas publication na ode beto obonti ama ayede ja obi aka se honorable Canadian Japan yesiu no ana hopes in dia to no say propaganda ana anas ye na yen 30 days ni ahwe asemu obesi hopes in see yen ahwe asemu obesi 30 days no a anas lawyer si hopes na do unko law school jai unko law school da we see law them da wa kra unka no kasem say we read law da jai na sympathy see wo court ho no US court ho na nkasa no lawyer na bie nsem so say omukota sempo ema honorable Canadian compre ko Japan e ka so betua $10,000 and o say na kwai wa read ni ma na de ba ene de yes 18 million and ne yedi tron krata no nemum na initial sue no for defamation no 30 million ti asem di lawyer na sem wo kan say na nkomu sue Canadian compre ko Japan $30 million na nas no mpesa no pese ni din ho na tekeke ni din ho nte na hiniemra keke eno motete so ade ba 18 million omo ankasa lawyers na omo di asem ne dia ma anas no etete so ba 18 million omo wie 18 million no omo de court no o project say nanka ade bi kura hye wono mu a asem bi o maka wie no ka ombetimi asa times no by 5 na akoye be 90 million ka omaye 18 million ne dia na wie no nanka omadi asem no akoduru ba bi no nanka omasa times no by 5 nanka akoye 90 million no maje $90 million no kura na say ensem o na do e ka wonim dia wo ka na in fact lawyer na bie case bi any $10,000 no a honorable Canadian compre ko Japan ekohia omo na o say opese odi twa asem ni tia nanka omo nya asem no foolish case nanka asem no entwatia lawyer ni bie case abusua wo de yentie lawyer no ne nsem any case ne ba bi akoduru any asem no kre the woman party 18 million on maji ana omonje yentie lawyer mra.
Okay, Mr. P. You know, the interesting thing is, I quite remember that you were sued in the U.S. sometime in 2021.
Yes.
And that actually caused my clients to begin inquiring about possibly if there's if there was anything out there, whether it will be actionable in the U.S. So you have some significance to today's events. So shortly after, when you were going through your motion to dismiss, we actually took a keen interest in that case and reviewed all the pleadings. And during that time also, my client informed me of a video that was circulating on social media. I just say, and someone just like about my client. So, like, you know, as the intellectuals that we are, we started opening the books and try to see where we can lay a claim. And so, interesting enough, I mean, after reviewing the video, I you know, in our training, there's something that we are taught. So, in your case, case, no, it has to pass the test, and the case has to stand on all fours, which means that you do an analysis of whether there's jurisdiction in place, whether you have all the elements of each claim that you want to bring, you know. So we went through all of that, and my conclusion was yes, on the basis of video now, my client is send them no, you jinaswa you tweet back court New Jersey. Yes, and say yeah, papa no video no so yeah, papa na and the moon some say or kase fini fie New Jersey. Now when you say you move for so no the diaspora is very important. Obviously, what you do is testament to that fact. And there was an audience that he spoke to. We're Ghana for. They all take a keen interest in the happenings in Ghana, especially the politics in Ghana. So we thought, there was solid grounds for us to be in the court in New Jersey. So I advised my clients accordingly. Now, I wouldn't say, a lawyer. So obviously, he was an integral part of what was going on in the preparatory stage. At that time, I am a U.S. trained lawyer, but I currently only practice in Ghana. And there was a team of us. I'd like to say congratulations to my learned colleague Odell Crow. He was a part of yes, he was counsel of record in Ghana. So I put him into the research, and we drafted a complaint. And like a lawyer, so we did the work, and he actually filed it himself. So after the preliminary back and forth, initially the case we sued in 2022.
Okay. Yes.
We filed suit sometime, I think.
The complaint.
Yeah, sometime I think in the summer of 2022.
May 17th, 2022.
Yes. And by law, there was a period by which Yapapano Anka was responding with what is known as an answer. But so Yapapano filed a response, and my case no call into default. Now, after a period of default, you can actually go for judgment. Now, a case near Fale, we filed on 3 counts. But I couldn't say a chrome or a chrome 4. The second one was or you would in terms of Onuna or behind the medal of Yenuya Ahmed Swale. Now, the third one, so say Yenuya a serial killer in terms of Wuku Chinese for Bibribi Ghana. And then the fourth one is or a criminal, a blanket word criminal. And then the fifth one by implication, say Onuna behind would same biana, that means say biana no trigger man and also no will be second and I say perform the physical act that led to the foreseeable events, which is obi a. So we also included a count that he is that he claims that my client a co-conspirator in multiple serial killings. So that was basically the gravamen of our complaint. And when it went undefended after the response time now, we began to make preparations to move for judgment. But being that I was in Ghana and we are all based in Ghana, we reached within our network and we partnered with 2 brilliant lawyers who I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate. Atawemega Esquire, he was the father figure of the team of lawyers, and a brilliant trial lawyer by the name of Andrew Dehere. These are all brilliant Ghanaian lawyers on this case. And at that point, we recruited them as counsel of record. And the case went at that point. Kennedy's lawyers came in, obviously because Ghpage judgment for the full $30 million. And so he had counsel, and counsel came and also did his thing. Reopen default. They argued that they had a solid defense. And I think right around then, and I almost got judgments from Ghana, almost release it. And I know so say defense to case I
because
New Jersey.
We knew
but
Ghana, so case no
exactly.
It's only case. Okay.
So as defense against, but the interesting thing is that the defamation sits here say kind of they do for court. It's a separate case.
Yeah.
It's not to mean Ghana and be defended way. You still have to prove the truth of it. And this time, in this jurisdiction, The law is the same essentially because omo minimum no say Ghana no yemra no but you sound so emra ye free other countries. There are certain times that even though any of presidential value, I just said judge into me so India but obi to me the two hufu na senior odi two anamo, especially in cases maybe you know you decided that type of a case. And Emrano is the same as Ghana. Procedurally, there are certain nuances. Sometimes in terms of certain dates, you have to do certain things by. And also in New Jersey, Emra here drafted complaints. We were fully aware that we were required to prove what we were claiming by a higher standard than in Ghana.
Yeah.
Yes. In this case, and not even that. In this case. We were required to prove our case not by the normal civil standard, but by a clear and convincing evidence standard.
Okay.
And they responded with that, and they were able to successfully reopen the default, which paved way for them to file an answer. And they filed an answer which essentially claimed that there was some sort of back and forth between him and Anas. And we took it for what it's worth, and we forged on. And we finally got our trial date sometime earlier this year, and it was postponed. And then we finally went to trial last Monday. We started trial on Monday, and we put up our case. My client testified. He testified. He brought other witnesses, and after listening to both sides. Senior the difference between what happened with Ghana and see Johannes said trial by jury any judge or judge back one I say judge me no one I say judge me and send a big but normal people on the streets of New Jersey, tax-paying citizens, and a twin from. In this case, we started off with veneer. That's the technical word for when the prospective jurors are brought in. We're from a veneer. The veneer of 60 citizens, tax-paying citizens of the state of New Jersey, specifically Newark, New Jersey, and its surroundings, were brought in, and after what is known as boadaya, which is the process by which they are questioned to see if they have any sort of bias or anything that will stand
for Ghana for your vetiomo. Say bia
your vetiomo, your vetiomo just said obi nim asem wo bi anaso onimu bia asem we fan ho anase obi wo hwa bia nyame bi osom no. So we went through all of that. That was day one. That took from area to the end of the day. And so on Tuesday, we came to court and we had our opening statements. They had their opening statements. And then we proceeded to put on our evidence. And at the close of the evidence, the jury was instructed, judge, in this case, judge, ometro emrano. Na omodiama jury no ometro mu omekin kan atro first. So paper go inside. Aqua decide the different deliberations. Me nim there some can chimu, but me so say me almost the pensum okay. And there are some more about Thursday about 4:30. Yeah, the church room running now, and there are some more 4:30. Into now, I dream say we be an 4:30. No, I caught a punk right around that time, which is I believe consistent with the practice in I know it's consistent with the practice in Ghana. Into no cry. I dream so you could be at Nana. Take a deep breath and reflect on what has transpired during the past 4 days. And about 20 minutes later, we got word that the jury. So as part of the defense, I think it's only fair that a charges counts now the buy and the civil claims now the buy. His defense was also although Oka said it was some sort of just based banter between him and Uniano, he came to court and asserted truth as his defense. And so
Time I caught
Okay.
to say, sa counting na mode bono no say a on anas back and forth, right? The on the claim of making or say banter. I just say we can't wait internet and share or no, they're not all can say obi to be more almost tomorrow.
But all you do court me there. That was not.
And yes, I know what kind. Ura court no G2.
Yeah, be or maintaining the position say no can or the home standing by no kind.
Okay.
Basically, remember just of practice no crane odi no onye boni bia.
Okay.
So to support that, no, or they move your child in net to who watches a watchman. But they are also by as on only defense, and so the jury had the opportunity to evaluate that and factor that in the analysis. And obviously, it was not the weight that they wanted the jury to accord to it. So jury never bugui. And about 20 minutes later, the jury came back with a verdict, and there were a multiplicity of very quick. And there was a multiplicity of questions that were posed to the jury. That's the way how they arrived at the decision. It's and also unanimous. People who were picked off the streets of not picked off the streets of New Jersey, but they're from based on address, voter registration data. But within 20 minutes, they saw through everything and said no. So they came back and there was not even one juror that sided with Yapapana Samuel.
All against
8-0 on every count and on every question that was posed to the jury, including damages now about no be doing and also crown. There was a unanimous decision. I just say it was a solid decision of the jury. 20 minutes on take it on say there was no doubt in our presentation to what you kind of lay people. These are not experts in the law.
Yeah, they are just
these are lay people
who just sat and used their common sense to come to a conclusion.
No. I would not say use that. I would not say use that common sense.
They listen to you and they listen to the other part. It makes sense though.
And then the law is the law. No judge in this world has any power to bend the law. That sort of conduct is what causes strife and war in places. Yeah. America had the judge actually before the judge kind jury instruction, but catch jurors and say, oh no, only to be a and that's how it went. But what's interesting about Nisi and or a lawyer contrary, even though people don't give him credit for that.
At least Bonidina Anas asem na working.
But Anas, Anas. Or also a very astute lawyer, and some people walk cry a car on Jim, but sometimes a team of legal team to we come to a compromise. Now, he has been adamant about clearing his name because I have a personal experience of understanding. It's one of the worst things that can happen to someone.
Yeah.
And he absolutely took the position there. He wanted a trial. He's not interested in any settlement. He's not here for the money. He's here to clear his good name that he has built over time. And in his profession, at this time, Anka also started doing one. So he always maintained that he wanted a trial to the point where sometimes there was a disagreement in the legal team. Now, procedurally, America, peace. Schedule there, and from this time to this time, staff that work out we are dedicating it to your case. It's no small matter.
I know. I've been there. It's not easy.
Before they will go to trial, there's mandatory settlement conference. I bet say at this maybe by this time we'll be say grown or they'll commit to the right census and decide say this shouldn't go on because yes. And I acquire unfortunately me and Anas disagreed with me, but I prepared a settlement memorandum that sought to settle this case for $18 million. Just like the jury came back. As you know, in these days, we have all kind of tools that we can use to predict certain things.
Before you go ahead,
Mm-hmm.
This is where the contention is, and people saying 80 million, others saying a year 30 million. You know. Now, when you read,
Well, we'll come to that. Let me clarify. Let me just clarify.
Yeah.
Okay. Complaint the coin. Yeah, claim for $30 million. $30 million.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. And what I'm saying is that at the before the mandatory settlement conference, or before the jury is empaneled, even though my client had firmly informed me he had no intention of settling this case because he believes that he ought to go to a jury of his peers to clear his name. But maybe let's just prepare our settlement memorandum, be thorough and be reasonable.
Yeah.
And even though he protested, I prepared a settlement memorandum that sought to settle this case for $18 million US. Okay. Now you do settlement conference, about court. Now the lawyers just say what he was willing to settle this matter for, and they said $10,000. So honestly,
it's clarification is very, very important. Normally Ghana.
Okay.
Into Mukodru Hono. And that's initially, you have a kind of simple street language, and the damages are not paid around $30 million. And while the client and Anas Kasa say, a woman saw $30 million, and yes, he can't all pay. In fact, he wants his name to be cleared, and then the priority of going to court.
Yes.
But because of the experience, now unim sibi anyo matiano, uno client here Anas Kasa and say, it would be better and to be reasonable to at least settle on $18 million. And I'll say, no client and us, you did not really agree, but because he respects you as his counsel and as a lawyer, you people ended up around that money, around that figure, which is $80 million.
Oh yes, and like I said, your lawyer at Awemega, New York.
Oh, yeah.
And also come and Andrew D here.
Yeah, you are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Wemega is there.
Yes,
D here is there. Crow is there. Yourself. Basically, as we are speaking to you, we are speaking to all of them because.
Yes. So the whole team agreed on that, but he was the only reluctant one in settling the matter. But procedurally, we couldn't go to trial without actually going through to the settlement conference.
Yes.
In spite of his reservations, we still almost cut our demand down to about a little over half.
Okay.
But to our surprise, you have a panel buy and also an $10,000 to end the case. No. I want to arbitrate and I said no, some way I'm sure so I can kind papers, So he said basically go and take your gamble in the courtroom. So that's how we ended up going to trial. So to go back to how it ended, so at about 4:50 on Thursday. And the jury brought us in and they told us what unanimously what they had arrived at. But we decided to keep it under wraps because there was a component you multiply 18 million by 5 money do 90 million for a total of about
the plan.
Yeah, that was the plan. Yeah, because
to do that. Okay.
Yes. And then you decided to say about to bull with coming public with the finding of culpability on Thursday.
Yeah.
Pay a coin we ended up leaving that alone. A pursuit of ×5 because almost file emotions be I just say or see a two a boss na in terms of that and sana say one way or another I go back I could pursue that ×5 and I say depending on what happens, maybe I between German and Cafe. But at this time, almost my court no say almost into swore.
Okay. So at this point, my court who say beba 80 million or almost pentiswo. How many days do they have to file that?
Okay. So at this point, no, the next thing that's going to happen is that there's going to be a paper, a judgment. I just say court reading seal better so.
Yeah.
That will take a few days, and then after that, I believe there's a 5-day rule that's within which you can file that motion. So a bay motion, depending on how that motion goes, no, we will get a chance. We may get a chance to attempt to get our × 5 of that 18 million, or a big jam and a couple. So depending on how that motion goes, no.
So for now,
yes.
18, no, Obintiminka said that is the end of the case. It depends.
No, it's not because hypothetically, so much to grab back 10, we still have the opportunity to go for ×5.
That is 50. Okay.
Yeah, into call extra 50 plus. Yeah, hypothetically, so much to back 10, we can go for another ×5.
You as a Ghanaian and also a lawyer and defending a fellow lawyer who is a journalist. This has been an experience. Do you want to share something with us when it comes to these kind of defamations and how
Ghpage Construction Limited say 3 to 5 bedroom finished apartment omoton e bono eda from Krana Sanso and payment plan no very flexible. Number we from 020-703-6710. Pomodina from afin to say dino person see at the mount from start to finish on betimi aye the amount land registration have a dining renovation so omotimi aye sanso na a dining kratasembia and I say plan bianso omotimi at the amount building materials bianso omotimi amaubi pomodina friend number we amatrophone 020-703-6710. Ghpage Construction Limited. I want to say see mommy. Enti Anas Aremeya Anas lawyer. I want to be a kiss no. And ya to my. Eti 18 no. Ombeja na munyo se no kra no. Se koduru on ma. Na se judge no kra ka so be sa teso aba be 10 million and no be sa times 5. There's a case no. Assembly ho be sa dia 5 no dia. Omo de on times. There's a $15 million no and on beje honorable Kennedy Akompre ko Agyapong. Or see, Kennedy Akompre ko Agyapong lawyers and no be shia. Now omo nsem om keke kan no. Na che se wo se omo san ko receipting biom. And no na judge no. Any per 60. Omo friend nkrofo nko 60. Me fan say witnesses 60. Ebisa omo sa brofo. Sa no mdi o masem. Enyasim kuma. Na say the hopes na do e kan say kroma asem no Anas di kopie mu e wo court. Ye bua na focus ya asem no hu. Yansa bia ni mo onfa no nko di ni ade adem. Esa brochi di entesa. Na abuja asemi wo je ne say lawyer for Anas Arimina Anas ono ene de ne nsem atu eye edwa no. Wo mo nko so nyi sika no 18 nom times in by 5 and I teso kura nom times in by 5 and I say ujidi say the hopes in ado e ka say propaganda no yen 30 days sa na be ko abusia document no e wa se ho e va ha AHINTASEM TV mo den so be like o be share no subscribe e dey amai.